Knicks. Like I said, I like Boston. Yesterday, or was that 2 days ago? I don't know. They all blend in, to be honest with you, down here. They were plus 105, though. And I was like, all right, it's like playing the stock market, man. I would have bet Boston, but I wouldn't at minus 900 coming into the series. Sure, they lost home court advantage because for whatever reason, they're chucking up 63s. They did win a championship last year, 11 months ago, not even a year ago, doing the same exact thing. I think this is finally the game 3, where Tatum shows up. I do worry a little bit it's going to be at MSG, and you could say, well, the crowd's going to be rocking. I think what we've learned in the NHL and in the NBA playoffs, man, maybe it matters early. Home court doesn't matter as much as we think that it does. I really don't think that it does. So I think that Boston, in this do-or-die situation, finally gets right, makes it a 2-1 series, and then you're not getting that price anymore. So at plus 105, minus 115, minus 120, depending where you're shopping around, I think Boston's the bet to make right now, even if you don't think Boston's going to win the series. Then you should have played, New York at plus 600 or whatever the hell they were pre-series. I never thought that they had a shot in this series. I figured it was probably going to be a gentleman's sweep. Also shows us that the regular season doesn't matter a whole lot because Boston did sweep them 4-0 in the regular season. But that would be my look. I don't want to bet this game. I don't want to bet game 4, game 5, game 6, game 7. I'm just going to take the Celtics series price, and that's what I did the other night. It's like playing the stock market. They were minus 900 a week ago. Now they're plus 105, minus 115. I think that's the only way that you could look at this, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to go back to, because I agree with you with the thought that home court doesn't matter, especially when I saw somebody put up the other day, they went and figured the parlay odds, if you had taken all 4 road teams to win game 1 across the semifinals, if you'd have taken all 4 road games, it would have paid out something like 45,000 to 1. If you would have taken the first 5 games, including the Knicks, to take the second game at Boston, it paid out something like 77,000 to 1. Like $1 would have won you 77 grand or some stupid number like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, because it was an Instagram post and it was like 3 a.m. and I was an insomniac. But the point is, you'd have made a lot of money. I agree with that, but I also think contextually, some things are different. Dude, is Madison Square Garden in game 3 with the Knicks up 2-0? Is Madison Square Garden not going to be the scariest place in America when those teams tip? There's no chance. It is going to be louder than a Springsteen concert in there at the tip of that game. I do not envy Boston being in the road down 2 at that spot. That is going to be a brutal, brutal place to go play.
No, I completely agree. I'm laying the 5.5 with the Celtics. I just changed my mind. I know I took the series price. I'll play it tomorrow, 3 p.m. tip. Mario, what would be your thoughts here? You got the Knicks 5.5 point dogs, total 205.5, or maybe there's a player prop that you like. I think I'm staying away from props in this one tomorrow, or at least I have no looks right now.
Yeah, I'm staying away from props too. I think if I was going to favor one, to be honest, I would look towards maybe some of the bench guys. Derek White over 16.5 points kind of entices me a little bit, just because he does have these kind of famous hot starts like he had last game where he can get over that or get closer around 13, and then after that you just kind of have to hope you get a bucket or 2 in the second half. The other angle I've been kind of down and back and forth on is the total, because it's at 205.5, which is really low. But you look at last game, which was extremely low scoring, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit more high tempo. I think the Celtics are really going to come out on fire. At some point, Rob and Ryan, they have to get their three-point shooting back. They are a really good three-point shooting team, and it's what won them the NBA Finals. And at some point, that's going to come back, and when it does, I think that total is going to fly over at 205.5. So that's an angle I'm kind of looking at in that one.
Yeah, I like that. I might actually end up taking Tatum points, man. Please, for the love of God, show up, score 30 points in this game. I almost feel like they need him to go off, him or Jaylen Brown, and I think it's got to be Tatum, man. But we'll see that one tomorrow. Also tomorrow, we get Timberwolves, we get Warriors, we got Minnesota laying 5. I actually plan on betting that game live and betting Golden State. I think Golden State might. Nobody's made the case for them. I think they might steal this one. Here, let me ask you guys this, though. Mario, Rob, I'll start with you, and then Mario, I want to get your take on this, though. If you like Golden State plus 5 tomorrow, don't you guys almost feel you should just take Jimmy Butler points over, or maybe even some ladders? I feel like it's going to take an epic performance from Jimmy Butler. Or maybe it is the Buddy Hield game again. I can't see Draymond going off for 18 to 20 points. I know he went back-to-back 16 and 18, but then last night he had 9. And granted, he didn't play a whole lot in the second half because it was a blowout. But I feel like if you like Golden State, maybe you just play Jimmy Butler points. What do you think about that?
No, I think that's exactly right. The only chance that Golden State has to steal 1, force a 6, get Steph back, and have to win 2 in 6 and 7 to win this series is if Jimmy buckets is playoff Jimmy. So, like, I'd be playing a bunch of Fallout Boy over the speakers in the PA to try to get emo Jimmy to come out and give myself a shot. But at the same time, like, I think you can go back to the last game, Horvey, and say part of what has made Jimmy buckets in the playoffs has been that even in Miami and certainly at Golden State, he's been paired up with somebody that's a threat to the outside that you can't just collapse on Jimmy Butler. And I think you collapse on Jimmy Butler. If I know that this game is won or lost by Jimmy Butler getting to 35 for Golden State, then I'm just going to keep. If Jimmy Butler gets the ball inside the three-point line, I'm putting 2 on him every time. He still may get there because he's a hell of a basketball player, but I just think the effectiveness of Jimmy Butler decreases if he doesn't have that guy on the outside. I've heard you have the take many times that Jimmy Butler's never going to be the best player on a championship team. Yep. And if that is the case, then this isn't a championship team, Ryan Horvat, so I'm not going to bet on him at this point.
His points, let me pull these up really quick. Oh, they're right in front of me. 22.5. Ants points, 20. Oh, actually, screw scoring. I forgot. I have a bet in this game. I'll play this right now, actually. I meant to do this earlier. This is what happens when you sit in traffic here in D.C. for 2 hours, dude. Like, it's bad enough when you got the Caps going last night. But now the Nats, like I said, big concert tonight, so everybody's showing up for OAR. On the city on down, we're going to go Julius Randle. I think you guys should tail me on this one. I love this one. I'm going to send this to my cousin, too, as I do this, so I could get like $500 on it. Let's go Julius Randle over 5.5 dimes. Plus 107 right now is this price. Shop around, of course. So, Ant, 7 assists on 12 potential assists the entire series so far. Granted, it's 2 games. But Randle had 7 dimes last game, game 2, had 11 game 1, and they're pretty much running their offense through him, man. I know some people took the under on his points last night. Big mistake. He had like 20 in the third quarter. But I'm going to go over on the dimes. Over 5.5 assists, and it's plus 107. Julius Randle. Damn it, I love that bet. You know what? That might be the only thing I bet tomorrow. That and the other things that we just gave out. And then I might have a nice little relaxing day until we get to nighttime. And then it's UFC, baby. And we'll have some bets for you in that. We also got a big WWE pay-per-view that Rob and I are going to break down for you sickos. And right now, the Sirs are making their run. 32-26. Still early. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. But you can never count them out. It's a game of runs, Rob. A game of runs. Let me ask you one quick question. Do you think if this is it for Golden State and Steph's not able to come back, he's not retiring or anything, but Steph never wins another chip ever again, or Draymond, right? This was their last decent shot at one?
I mean, it's the last shot with the team built as it is. I think Steph Curry's still too valuable, and I don't know. I'm going to keep it a buck. Like, I don't know what all the financials look like as far as being able to move guys around, but I think your best shot would be you take Steph, you take Jimmy Butler, everybody else on that roster has got to go, and you just try to go find a rebuild. Like, maybe you pull a Lakers. I don't know if you could, and I'm just pipe dreaming here. We're going to talk wrestling later. I'm fantasy booking. Golden State goes and gets Giannis Antetokounmpo up out of Minnesota, brings him down. You build your big 3 with those 3 guys. And I think you could give yourself a shot there. I mean, is Quentin Post the future? Because I think if there's one thing I would take out of this postseason, Ryan, it's that, like, you're not winning a chip without a 7-footer anymore, right? Like, it just feels to me, and I will go so far as to say my theory is built on Boston right now. It's what Titus said earlier. With Kristaps Porzingis giving me 16 minutes because he's dealing with whatever this symbiote infection he's been dealing with all season is. Without Porzingis being able to kind of be that anchor guy in the middle, Boston's offense isn't the same. Teams are able to kind of attack the perimeter defensively a little bit better. I think the NBA has kind of rotated back to, it's not that you've got to have a star in the middle, but you got to have a big dude that can anchor in the middle to keep defenses pinned down. Golden State doesn't have that because, with all due respect to Quentin Post, he's just not developed to be that guy yet. Oklahoma City's got Chet Holmgren. They can run through him. Freaking Minnesota has Rudy Gobert. That's good enough. He ain't an offensive elite guy, but it's good enough. I think they'd have to rebuild. I think they'd have to go find a Giannis. I think they'd have to find a young 7-footer to anchor it, and then they give themselves a chance. I just don't know that they've got the financials to be able to pull off that much of a rebuild in 1 year. And while Steph is not done, it ain't like he's got a decade left in him.